It's all going down. Tyrone Bowman live. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the program on this beautiful Sunday morning here. I'm going to be talking about this might not be news to some of you, but as always, eventually I get around to covering the stories that are happening and that are newsworthy on this channel. I'm going to be talking about the meeting between Mayor-elect Mandani and President Trump at the White House. Before I do, I'd like to thank all of you who have subscribed to Tyrone Bowman Live, and we're going to continue to grow and continue to expand. And as I've said on many occasions, I want to say very quickly that I'm in the process of building a studio so we can really look more professional, sound more professional, and do things in a more professional setting / atmosphere. So if you'd like to contribute $1, just simply Cash App it, $Piexel4. Now let's get down to today's topic. According to the article written by Katie Honan for The City, Mayor-elect Mandani and President Trump had a quote productive end quote meeting Friday at the White House as the pair found common ground on affordability concerns and surprising camaraderie. Quote, "We agree on a lot more than we would have thought," end quote, Trump said following the meeting. "I feel very confident that he can do a good job," end quote. Ladies and gentlemen, I've often said this, that civility in politics needs to come back to the table. Just because an individual has differences of political ideologies doesn't mean that they cannot sit down and talk together and work together. In the climate of hateful politics, too many people are losing sight of what is important. And what's important is our economy. What's important is the stability of this country and this nation and the Constitution. What is important is the fact that healthcare, affordable healthcare for everyday people. And even though the government shutdown has officially ended and individuals are receiving SNAP benefits, there's going to be a massive overhaul of the entire SNAP benefits program. It's going to become more strict, more stringent, and there are going to be a lot of stipulations that are attached to it. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of fraud. Yes, I said it. There's been a lot of fraud taking place when it comes to SNAP governmental benefits. And that fraud has got to stop. And too many individuals, they've been using it for unscrupulous purposes, and they've been doing some dubious things. Now, for those who really need SNAP benefits, for those who are in need for their children, and for seniors and individuals who are trying to supplement their income, that's who the program is for. It's not for gambling. It's not for doing terrible things with it, etc. And now, no, the government is not shut down. And what individuals don't realize is that there are so many hot button topics that's going on in the country. And I'm not going to stop talking about them. Inflation is at the top of the list. We got an immigration crisis at the top of the list. Healthcare crisis, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security is going to be on the block pretty soon. Overhaul is coming. Overhaul, rather, is coming. You still have the farming crisis that's happening. The agriculture industry is suffering greatly. And now the rehaul of the education department can sit saying that nursing, doing a video about that shortly, that being a nurse or RN and healthcare is no longer a profession. Well, what is it? Individuals who are doing these jobs must be qualified to do them. You just can't say, well, it's not a noteworthy job. It doesn't make any kind of sense until you need their services. And you don't know anybody that's not qualified to handle medication. and don't know what they're doing. If you just put anybody up in there and say, well, you know what, they don't need a degree, they don't need a certification, they don't need to be a license, I'll just let them figure it out on their own. Then you have a pandemic. COVID is still around, y'all. It hasn't gone anywhere. People are still suffering and lingering side effects from it. Joblessness is at an all-time high. Labor statistics are alarming. They're trying to create a facade to make people think that the job market is stabilized. No, it's not. Over 37 million people have lost their jobs or been fired, laid off, whatever they want to call it. You know. And what about the food stamps for those who are 65? If they need them, they should get them. So the meeting between New York's mayor-elect Mamdani and President Trump, if it's going to bring productivity from it, then you know what? Let the two men sit down, talk, negotiate, compromise, come to the meeting of the minds. America's got to get back on track. And I'm going to do my part on this YouTube channel with this program to help to bring stability to this nation. I sincerely mean this. I'm going to find all the good I can talk about. I'm going to find all the positive things I can talk about. And if I have to cover hot button topics, I'm going to cover them with sensitivity and heart. And now back to the article. Mayor Mandani might even encourage the former New Yorker who in 2019 moved his legal residency to Florida to return to the city where he was born. Quote, I would feel very comfortable being in New York and much more so after the meeting, end quote, Trump said. Quote, I appreciated the meeting with the president, and he has said it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City, end quote, Mandani said. Now, those are two statements, one from the president, one from Mayor-elect. There shouldn't be any personal animus and hatred. I know there's a certain segment of society, that's how you always are going to be. I'm not even thinking about y'all no more. I've moved on. You want to be hateful, bigoted, racist? Okay, that's your problem. Deal with it. See what it gets you in the end. It's not going to help you in the end. We got to concentrate on what's good about America. I'm tired of people attacking the country that we live in from the inside. There are a lot of great and wonderful things that are happening in this nation, and I'm going to find them and I'm going to talk about them. And I'm going to present them on this program. There are a lot of great people still in America. There are a lot of great people in all the cities in America. I think about those who are involved in the healthcare industry, great men and women. What about the emergency first responders, great men and women? What about the great men and women who work within law enforcement? Oh, yeah, there are some terrible things with it, but you've got some decent men and women who are doing a tremendous job every day. They get no credit. They're not talked about. They're overlooked. They're underappreciated. What about our teachers? Yes, what about the teachers who are overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated? And they have to be the teacher, the referee, the parent, the disciplinarian. Children are going to school just totally unprepared. Many of them, they've been raised in households where there's been nothing but trouble, disorganization, pandemonium, confusion, and mayhem, and they bring all that crap with them to the classroom. All the phones need to be taken out of the classrooms when they come to class. Confiscate them. They should be forced to put them in a safe place until class is over. What do you need a phone for in class? Why are you FaceTiming? Why are you on Snapchat? You're doing everything except learning. That's one of the main reasons why illiteracy is such a big factor here in this nation. What about the arts in America? We got to talk about the arts. We have creative minds within the entertainment industry. I'm going to find what's good about this nation, and I'm going to be having conversations about it. We're not going to have the same old conversations over and over and over again. For what purpose? It doesn't solve anything. It's not getting us anywhere, you know. uh, as a blanket hate term. Well, you know what? MAGA is what it is. I didn't coin it. I can't help it if there are a lot of racists and bigots in MAGA. You go talk to MAGA. You're probably one of them. Why don't you go and sit down with your own people and you straighten them out? As long as they continue to be vitriolic with their bigotry and racism and prejudice ways, I'm going to talk about it. Point blank. I couldn't talk about it if it wasn't going on. I wouldn't talk about the Heritage Foundation if they wasn't espousing racism and bigotry. I wouldn't talk about certain organizations with pseudo names and they think people don't know who they really are. I wouldn't talk about the whites only town down in Arkansas if it didn't exist. So you don't tell me what topics to address and what to talk about. Get your own platform, then you can talk about whatever you want. I'll sit down and meet and talk with anybody because I'm not a coward. I can talk with the worst of bigots and racists in this country. And I wouldn't even try to change you. You can be what you want to be, but you're going to respect me. See, the respect factor is what I'm dealing with here. You can believe whatever you want to be. You can espouse any political ideology that you want to espouse. You can hold on to the venomous hatred and the bigotry and prejudice. You can teach it to your children, to your grandchildren, to your great-grandchildren. But you're still going to be civil when you talk to me. And in America, you know what power is? Green power. That's the power that moves America. Green power, money. That's what moves the pendulum to swing. When it comes to politics, it's about money, power. It's not about color. It's been injected in it. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. The next black president is going to come from the Republican Party. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. The Republicans do not want to have the image of being a racist, bigoted party. And they're going to revamp it. And they're going to give America its second black president. Point blank. And I'll vote for the person. You see, I put it out there in either. I will vote for them. The Democrats gave us the first one. The Republicans are going to give us the second black president in this nation. And America is going to have a female president before all is said and done. Misogyny has no place in this nation. Chauvinistic prejudice toward creative females who have been fighting since the days of Susan B. Anthony, doing great and wonderful things, must be recognized. So on this platform, I'm going to cover everybody the same, with respect, whether I agree with you or not. I've said, all men and women, you're welcome on this platform. I don't care if you like me, hate me, loathe me, despise me. I'm not going to censor you. You can come on, and you're free to put whatever you want in the comment section, but I'm free to respond. I'm not like some of these other folk. I'm not going to turn the comment section off. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to hide. I'm built for this. I'm on a mission. You know, when the late Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I was on my live for over an hour and I condemned it to the highest. And I condemned those who came out with horrible, despicable, disgusting things to say about him. Just because I disagree with someone's political ideology does not mean that I hate them. And that's what people have got to learn. That's why Mandani and Trump had a meeting. They're two leaders. You have to sit down at some point in time. You have to talk for the common good of the nation, for the common good of New York City, for the common good of Washington, for the common good of America, governors and mayors, congressmen and senators. Learn to work together irregardless of who occupies the White House. And I'm adamant about this. Somebody has to advocate for complacency, reconciliation, commonality. Somebody has to continuously talk about it, or else anarchy will rule, no matter what party is in power. The article goes on to say, Trump, who at times looked admiringly at the next mayor and gave him playful slaps on the arm, said he looked to be a help to Mandani and the city. That's what the president says. Quote, the better he does, the happier I am, end quote, Trump said. I will say there's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything, he added. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor, quote, close quote. Those are the words from the president. And New York City is his hometown. He may be residing in Florida right now, but he was born and raised in New York City. It's time for America to come to its senses, ladies and gentlemen. The polarization of the races got to stop at some point in time. We have to move beyond it. I know many of the people don't want to move beyond race, but you better learn too, if you want to get anywhere in this nation and in this country, to make it work. I've never seen people go to a football game or a baseball game or wrestling games and talk about, well, you're a Democrat, you like this wrestler and don't like my wrestler, so now we ought to hate each other. It's sports entertainment. That's what it is. The heroes get cheered, the bad guys and bad girls get booed. That's the nature of the beast. The rivalry that exists between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys is an existing rivalry. It ain't personal. It's about football. That's all it's about. Politics is about politics. It shouldn't be about cutthroating people individually and personally. This may be a little heavy for some of you on a Sunday morning, but so is the climate of this nation. It is very heavy on a Sunday morning. With the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, how many families in this country will be without the proper necessities that they need to even be grateful? Hungry people are not going to be grateful. Homeless people are not going to be grateful. Jobless people are not going to be grateful. Why? Because when the bill collectors start calling your phone, sending you text messages, turning off your utilities, you're not going to be thankful. People want to be able to, I'm talking about responsible people now. They want to be able to handle their responsibilities for their families on a daily basis. Gas, electric, rent, mortgage, basic necessities that have to be taken care of. In some instances, some people pay for water. Some people who live in condominiums and things of that nature, everything is all on one price. Gasoline prices are still high. It's time to change the narrative in this country. And as I said in my last video of the Epstein files, be careful what you ask for. There's nothing incriminating there that's going to incriminate the president. So for all of you that are looking for a smoking gun, there is none. It's not going to happen. The files have already been cleaned, scraped, washed, and redacted. Why else would they be released? Don't allow America's enemies to pit the Americans against one another and self-destruct from within. Learn something from the Greek mythology story about Helena of Troy and the Trojan horse. Learn something about it. Whether it's real or not, learn from it. I'm a student of history. We've got to learn to work together in this country. And I sincerely mean that. I care about America. I care about people. I care about humanity. I care about doing what's right. I respect people for who they are. I don't care what race, creed, color, faith, religion, or sexuality they are. I care about human beings, period. America is a composition, characteristically, of all people. I've never seen a tax return form that says, are you black or white? Are you Baptist or Methodist? Are you Republican or Democrat? Are you bi, straight? What are you? A tax return is a tax return. It has numbers on it. It's time to clean up America's act from within if we intend to be the beacon for a hopeless world. We want our leaders portrayed in the best light, not the worst possible light. History may be written by the victors, but those who are not the victors can write history as well. I don't let anybody write my story for me. I'll write my own story. Once I graduate from law school, I'll write it. So the meeting was the first between Mamdani and the president and was requested earlier this week by the incoming mayor, who told reporters Thursday he'd meet with anyone if it could help New Yorkers. Props up to the new mayor of elect. Mad props. Quote, it's about a relationship between New York City and the White House, the president, the federal administration. It's for the people that I look to represent, Mandani said. I concur. During the meeting, which lasted around 30 minutes, the pair discussed the rising cost of groceries, rent, and utilities, which have contributed to people being pushed out of the city, Mandani said. Trump also said they'd talk about ways to build more housing. Trump has disparately called Mandani a democratic socialist, quote, my little communist, end quote, endorsed his rival Andrew Cuomo in the general election and threatened to withhold federal funding to the city if Mandani won the election. But in a Fox News radio interview Friday morning, hours before the meeting, the president struck a tone of civility. The race is over. Personal politics has become a weapon for divisiveness, while the rich get richer and the poor stay poorer, while the billionaires are laughing from both sides. You don't think you've got billionaires in the Democratic Party? You don't think that there are billionaires in the Socialist Party and the Independent Party? The billionaires are laughing all the way. People fighting in the streets, acting stupid with uncivil manners at each other's throats while they're laughing and talking and partying and doing what billionaires do. You've got to be able to see through this. Look at the big picture, ladies and gentlemen. Follow the narrative. Follow the money. Follow the money. That's where the answers are at. Quote, this is Trump's, he's got a different philosophy. He's a little bit different. I give him a lot of credit for the run. He did a successful run, and we all know that runs are not easy, end quote. He said on the Brian Kilmeade show, end quote. We're looking for the same thing. We want to make New York strong, and there's such a different philosophy. Mamdani, who's 34, will be sworn in as the city's 111th mayor on January 1, and plans to immediately address rising costs throughout the city, he said. But he can't do that without state and federal help. New York receives billions in federal tax dollars, paying for everything from homeland security to food assistance to housing programs. Mamdani has also been critical of Trump, calling him a fascist and a despot. Quote, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him, end quote, he said in his election night speech. Trump brushed off Mamdani's comments on Friday, saying he was fine with him calling him a fascist. Quote, I've been called much worse than a despot, he said with a laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, growing up black in America, I've been called all kinds of names from the time I was born. Doesn't matter to me what people call me or will call me in the future. I've been called all kinds of names on my own program here, but it doesn't stop me from coming before the camera. doesn't stop me from being polished and articulate and being professional. And I'll continue to operate in this vein. Some people are going to like me, others are going to hate me. And that's cool. I'm cool, quote unquote, with it. It's all a part of the game of life. In sports, coaches are tough on athletes because they want to produce a winning team. In politics, the nature of the beast is to win the election. You either lose or win. There's no draw. Is it contestable, with hot things said from all sides? Yes, that's the nature of the beast. If I were a politician, I would win because I would pulverize my opponent. From day one, I'm making it crystal clear. I didn't get in the race to lose. I got in the race to win, and win we shall. Nobody celebrates a loser. Everybody loves a winner. Did you hear what I said? No one celebrates a loser. Everyone loves a winner. I haven't seen any losers being invited to the White House. Have you? Only the winners get to come to the presidential inauguration or presidential dinner, the presidential affair, whatever they're having, whatever they do in Washington. And I'm going to close with this quote. This is the last one from the president. I think he wants to make it greater than ever before, and if he can, we'll be out there cheering, end quote. The president remarked, quote, I'll be cheering for him, end quote. I concur. New York, it's supposed to be the epic center of commerce for the world. And the glory days of New York have to come back again. I spent a lot of time in New York City growing up, so I know New York very well. I may be from Philadelphia, but between Philadelphia and New York, it was like home. We were always there. So, America, it's time to come to the table of reconciliation. Let's sit down and talk. Doesn't matter if you hate me, we still got to talk. Doesn't matter if you don't like me, we still have to talk. Doesn't even matter if we have differences of opinion. That's all good. But at the end of the day, the elections are over. The victors are talking to each other for the common good of America. Never surrender. Never quit.